Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your recent past, your current energy, and your immediate future, answering the question, what do you need to know right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self? As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages as well as the overall theme for the reading, which we'll jump into in just a second. I have the tarot deck we'll be using already shuffled, as well as the decks that I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, so do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what doesn't. All right, Virgo. In your recent past, you have embrace uncertainty with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, so a lot of uncertainty in your recent past, and in particular surrounding some sort of opportunity that you're looking for, but that with it being in reverse that hasn't manifested yet. So there's something that you're wanting, hasn't come into reality, and in your recent past, you were facing a lot of uncertainty about whether or not that was going to be the case. So with the embrace uncertainty part, I will say that typically what I've experienced in my life and in the life of others that I've coached, I've learned that uncertainty is actually where our manifestations are created. Usually when we're facing the fear and the anxiety about whether or not things are going to work out, that's typically when we are actively creating things working out for us. And I'll dive more into that, but that is what you're currently dealing with, because in your current energy, you have face your fears with the Nine of Swords. So a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of insecurity kind of coming out here in your current energy, but it's all for a reason. We often, if we don't face our fear, we allow our fear to control us. The reason that most people aren't living the life that they truly desire is because they're afraid of the uncertainty surrounding creating that life. So they settle for the life that they're given, or for the life that they've been taught that they are, the life that they've been taught that they're, is as good as it can get for them. And they take that and they settle for it because, well, it's easier that way, even if it doesn't make them unhappy on a soul level. And so, facing your fear and experiencing anxiety, and I'm not saying anxiety is necessarily a good thing, like, yay, anxiety, but I will say that typically when you're facing this energy of like, are things going to work out? Like, is the universe really supporting me? Kind of that uncertainty, leap of faith kind of energy. That's where our manifestations are created, because you have two options. You either are going to you're going to allow that fear to pull you back to your comfort zone, to allow you to choose the easier path, like I was kind of talking about, or you're going to choose faith. And every single time you choose faith, you create a miracle for yourself. So that's kind of the energy you're in right now. Kind of cool how these came out. In your immediate future, you have take the lead with the Wheel of Fortune. So good, positive changes are absolutely possible in your future, but then you have this take the lead card, and then this overall energy of step up and lead. So this really is about like being the creator of your own life, recognizing your power and recognizing that you have so much power when it comes to creating the life of your dreams, and using that to create these positive changes for yourself. I'm not one of those readers that's going to tell you what is going to happen in your future, because that is 100% up to you. Yes, there are cycles. Yes, there are things that are going to, take place. But when it comes to the actual outcome, that's up to you. You have more power than you think. And this is about recognizing that, stepping into that, and utilizing that to create the positive changes you've been looking for. But let's start by looking at your recent past. You have embraced uncertainty with the Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This is for Virgo's recent past, please. Recent past for Virgo, please. Okay, so this anxiety and this fear, Nine of Swords with the Ace of Swords. This is my favorite. Oh, let me just throw that at you. This is my favorite depiction of the Nine of Swords, because if you can see, it's like she's surrounded by these shadows, right? She's obviously very, very afraid, very scared, emotions all valid, but all of the things that she's afraid of are imaginary. What is the percentage? There's a pretty high percentage. It's like something maybe in the 90s. It's like most of what we worry about going wrong never actually happens. And most of the suffering is created in the worrying. So this is about cutting through the static of the fear associated with the unknown. You know, when we're in the unknown, our fear has so much power because we have such little control, and our fear is going to really play on that. It's going to say, you know, you don't know how things are going to turn out, so you should probably expect the worst. It's funny how my motto in life used to be like, expect the worst, and then you'll never be disappointed, right? Anything above that is like a good thing, is a blessing. Then I learned about spirituality and about how our expectations create our reality. And I'm like, oh, well, that's not the best motto to have. So I do feel like your recent past is about, and still kind of, I feel like your recent past and your current energy feel very similar, and I feel like you're very tired of it. So that makes a lot of sense, because there's a part of you that's probably like, I've been in this uncertainty, I've been dealing with this stress and anxiety for so long that I don't really know if I can take it anymore. And that's understandable. But I don't know. I feel like there is a purpose for it, and there's this need to kind of cut through the static of it. I will say I've experienced in my path that every single time I am, go through kind of like a bout of anxiety, like worrying about how things are going to work out, like worrying about all these things that could go wrong, usually the more, I kind of deal with like worrying about all those things, like the next day or like week, a lot of good things will take place, because I have really realized that we have to face our fear either right before or right after good things happen. And it happens all the time. You probably either face like anxiety or fear right before good things happen, or good things happen and you face that anxiety and fear after good things happen. And it truly is like our brain not knowing how to handle good things because we're so used to things not going our way. Recent past for Virgo, please. Oh my goodness. Here we go. This is actually in reverse. So there is this lack of clarity, which makes sense. Uncertainty is scary. Recent past for Virgo, please. Oop, oop, oop. Ooh, okay. Putting a lot of pressure on yourself in your recent past. Pressure to be perfect, pressure to have all the answers, pressure to have it all figured out, pressure to be where you think you need to be. You are exactly where you're supposed to be right now. It might not be where you want to be yet, but you are exactly where you are supposed to be right now. Now, I know we're talking about your recent past, but I do feel like this energy is definitely carried over to your current energy. I feel like this reading is about breaking you out of that energy. The King of Swords in reverse to me, it's kind of this energy of expecting things to go wrong. Like you're kind of just like, like when something goes wrong, you're like, oh, I could have, of course that happened. Like I could have expected that, like you're so used to things not going your way that you start to expect it. But then on the flip side, like I kind of already mentioned, your expectations become your reality. This card isn't part of the message. It was just around. So putting a lot of pressure on yourself to like be perfect, like make all the right moves, have all the right answers. And that's never going to get you anywhere, because you're never going to be perfect. Ever. You're never, ever, ever going to be perfect. And that perfectionism comes from this idea that if you make mistakes, then that means that you're going to, worst case scenarios are going to happen. You're going to lose it all, or you're never going to get to where you're trying to go. And that, I feel like, has actually kept you in not receiving what it is you truly desire. When we think we have to be perfect, we'll stop focusing on what like really matters and start focusing on that perfectionism aspect. I need to make sure I'm doing everything that I can all the time, and like giving so much of your energy to everything all the time. And when that's the case, you'll stop taking care of yourself. You'll stop prioritizing your own mental and emotional needs. And that's, learning how to live a balanced life and give a little bit to everything is key. And it's possible. It's very difficult, but it's possible. And I feel like this is about, first of all, letting go of a little bit of that pressure. Just because things haven't worked out yet, it doesn't mean that they're not going to work out. You're allowed to make mistakes. You're supposed to be making mistakes. In fact, if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not learning and growing. Or if you're not being aware of your mistakes, then you're probably not learning and growing. So I do feel like maybe there's some mistakes that were made in your recent past, which is why you're, putting all this pressure on yourself. But I feel like those mistakes were necessary, and it's okay. It's okay that you made them. You were supposed to make them. You still have good things that can happen in your future. All right, immediate future for Virgo. Wanting everything to be perfect before you take action. Ooh, okay. Wanting everything to be perfect before you take action. Would it be a leap of faith if there wasn't faith involved? Something that I do talk about a lot on my channel is how I actually created, how I actually became a tarot reader. And that is that I was a financial advisor in a past life, which is crazy to think about now. If you would have told me this is what I do now, I would have laughed in your face. But as a financial advisor in a past life, I was miserable, fell into that path, wasn't happy with it, but took a leap of faith into the unknown. I had no idea what I was going to do. I don't necessarily recommend this. I had no backup plan, quit my job out of the blue, and leaned on spiritual guidance. What do I need to do? Asking the universe for guidance. I came across tarot. I thought that tarot was going to help guide me towards what it is that I needed to do. It turns out tarot ended up being, it was a little bit of both. It ended up being what I needed to do. I started my channel. When I started my channel, I was literally reading out of the book. This was my first channel that I had, not this one that I currently have. Anyway, I say all of that to say that, taking that leap of faith, quitting my job and pursuing this ended up getting me exactly to where I needed to go. But I had to face so much fear and anxiety and uncertainty about how things were going to be okay when I was in that process. Now, again, I don't recommend that path. I think that I could have done that in a much more intelligent way, but I just kind of went for it. But I say all of that to say that, not just in that aspect, but in all aspects of my life, I really have learned, and what I try to teach when I am coaching is that we have to learn to follow what it is that is best for us, even if we have no idea how we're going to land on our feet. And what that means is not focusing on how things, sometimes we think we need to have everything figured out, like the plan from, the how things are going to look from point A to point B. But I can tell you right now, it's never going to go the way you expect. So if you're staying where you're at in a relationship or in a career because you have, you think that you need to have all the answers to get out of it, that's not the case. Don't allow yourself to stay where you are undervalued, underappreciated, treated poorly, whatever the case might be. Don't allow yourself to stay because you don't know how you're going to be okay if you leave. Or don't allow yourself to not pursue something that you've been wanting to pursue because you're afraid of failure. In fact, if you allow that's where you allow your fear to control your decision making for you, is when you choose fear and you choose to allow that fear to keep you in places where you don't belong. That's where you keep yourself from being able to experience the life, the reality that you are truly deserving of. So allow yourself to, be willing to face the fear that comes with that unknown and that uncertainty, and that's what I feel like I was about to say, take matters into your own hands. That's kind of what this take the lead to me is like. If there's anything that I've learned, it's that we are the only person in our way, and learning that can set you into a whole new reality. It can skyrocket you into a whole new reality. All right, current energy for Virgo, clarifying, face your fears with the 9 of Swords. Current energy for Virgo, please. Current energy for Virgo, please. Current energy for Virgo, face your fears with the 9 of Swords. Yes, okay. If you feel stuck in the same place, if you feel like you're not progressing, like you're not moving forward, there's a reason for that. Because you are actively working through your limiting beliefs. This Eight of Swords in reverse is my favorite card in tarot. It was on my vision board for a while because it is that energy of releasing yourself from the ways that you keep yourself stuck in a limited reality. If you don't believe that there's more possible for you, you're going to settle for less. Kind of all those things I was talking about, allowing your fear to control your decision making. So when you do decide to take steps out of your comfort zone, leave what doesn't serve you, start, pursue something that you feel is meant for you, the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to experience a mountain of fear in association with, did you make the wrong decision? You're probably going to fail. You're not good enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not attractive enough. You're not smart enough. I said pretty and attractive twice, but basically you're going to have to face all of those reasons why you think that you're not going to be successful. And during that time, that is where most people give up. Creating the life of your dreams is absolutely possible, and failure and lack are never destinations. But if you allow yourself to allow that failure and that lack to prove to you that you're not going to get to where you're trying to go, you will end up back in the reality that doesn't serve you, back into what doesn't make you happy. And so sometimes the universe keeps us stuck in the same place, so that, even if we're trying our hardest, even if we're trying to pursue, or we're trying to, do what's best for us, but we feel like held back and we feel stuck, that is literally us actively facing our limiting beliefs in real time. And when that's the case, that's when you have to make that choice between fear and faith. And choosing faith every single time will get you to where you're trying to go. Success is guaranteed as long as you are willing to believe in it. Now, I'm not saying you're going to succeed overnight. I'm not saying you're not going to have to face failure, because absolutely you will. But those failures and those setbacks, again, they're not destinations. Those are literally just stepping stones on the path to where you're trying to go. So you're in that energy right now of facing your limiting beliefs. Am I ever going to get to where I'm trying to go? Am I ever going to have what it is that I desire? And the more that you're willing to allow yourself to continue to choose the faith that things are going to work out and better than you can even imagine, the more you're going to be able to create that for yourself. Current energy for Virgo. Current energy for Virgo, please. Self-doubt? No. Don't allow... Okay. So Tower in reverse, Seven of Wands, and there's the Wheel of Fortune. I knew it. I knew it was around here. I felt it. The Moon in reverse, and then there's that Wheel of Fortune, which we see in your immediate future. In order for this wheel to turn in your favor, in order for you to have the changes you're wanting, to create the reality that you're desiring of, you are going to have to face your self-doubt. Your doubt that you are not good enough, all those things, deserving, capable, whatever the case might be. If you don't face those things, if you don't make decisions that require you to face those things, you will continue to live in the same reality with the same lessons and the same outcomes. That is why, and I started out saying this in the beginning of the reading, I'm not one of those readers who will read about your immediate future and say, this is what's going to happen. Because first and foremost, never guaranteed. Second of all, you have more control than you give yourself credit for. Because when it comes to creating the life of your dreams and the life that you desire, it comes down to your decisions, your priorities, where you put your energy each and every moment of each and every day. And the more that you avoid facing your self-doubt, the more that you avoid the unknown, that you avoid facing fear, that you avoid taking chances, the more you will stay stuck in the same reality. Something I talk about a lot and I think is so important to recognize is that if you wake up and you think the same way and you believe the same way and you make the same decisions and you do the same things, your life is never going to change. And so many people, I see it all the time, and this is a hard truth if this resonates with you. I'm not saying it's going to, but I see so many people who do that, make the same choices, think the same way, have the same beliefs, do the same things over and over again, and then get mad that things aren't happening for them or that things aren't changing or that their reality is the same. If you do not change the way you approach your reality will never change. It is the biggest truth, the coldest, hardest truth in the book. If you do not face the changes that you need to make in order to create the life of your dreams, your life will never change. And those changes are probably scary. And there's probably 1 million reasons that you can think of in this moment that you can't make those changes, that you're not good enough, that, there are problems or, whatever. There are always solutions, and those solutions are always divinely guided, but you have to be open to them in order to receive them. So don't allow yourself to allow your fear to keep you stuck in what doesn't serve you. Because if you do, you will stay in the same reality that you are in. And it's very obvious that that's not necessarily where you want to be. Based on this reading. I obviously don't know you as a person. Current energy for Virgo. Current energy for Virgo, please. Things are happening for you. Whether or not you're able to see it at this time, in the background, and that kind of energetic level, the pieces are falling into place with the Three of Pentacles. They are. However, I feel like there's a little bit more that's needed from you. Because I do feel, even if you feel stuck, even if you feel, uncertain, like I said, those pieces are still falling into place for you in the back burner. But you're going to have to take the lead in order to, first of all, allow that process to continue and then sustain it. Because attracting your abundance actually isn't the hardest part. It is difficult, but it's not the hardest part. Sustaining it is. You can have anything that you desire, absolutely 1,000,000% true. But it is not guaranteed that you are going to sustain that abundance unless you learn the lessons in association with it. If you woke up tomorrow with everything you ever wanted, you would manifest it away in a heartbeat. You might be like, no, I wouldn't. Yes, you would. I think it's like, I posted a video about this. It was like 70 to 75%. I don't remember exactly the percentage. But 70 to 75% of people who win the lottery go bankrupt within a few years. Some people actually, I think a good chunk of that percentage actually end up in a worse off financial situation than they did before they won the lottery. And the reason for that is because their dreams happened overnight and their brain didn't know how to handle it. If you don't build to your abundance by facing all of the reasons why you don't think that you're good enough or deserving or capable or whatever the case is, you will not be able to sustain it. And that is that energy that you're in right now. You're working through all of the reasons why you don't think that you can have it so that you can then attract it and then also sustain it. All right, immediate future for Virgo. Take the lead with the Wheel of Fortune. This is for Virgo's immediate future. Immediate future for Virgo, take the lead with the Wheel of Fortune. One more. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate future. Oop. I want to turn all the way around or hit the table. Immediate future for Virgo. Virgo's immediate future, please. Take an action towards what you want. That cannot be a clearer message. It's time to take action toward what you want. Now, maybe that means taking action away from what you don't want, right? That can be the same kind of thing. Starting that business, taking that leap, walking away from that job that doesn't serve you. If you're like, well, I'm waiting for my business to get to a certain point before, maybe that's not the case. Maybe you need to start investing more of your time and energy into something more, the things that you actually enjoy doing instead of, having so much of your energy sucked away and drained from what you don't. I don't know. It could be whatever. But this is literally taking action towards what you want. That's why you have Take the Lead. It's why you have Step Up and Lead. It's time to take action toward what you want. And maybe you don't know what you want. And that's okay. You don't have to know exactly how you want your life to look, but what you do know is that you're not in a place where you are happy and fulfilled, right? You can recognize what you don't want, which means that you have to do things differently, take different action in order to create the life that you do want. I recommend, if you don't know exactly what it is that you want, sitting down and writing out how you want to feel. Because how you want to feel is ultimately what you're looking for in your circumstances anyway. So writing out what it is that you want to feel. I want to feel financially free. I want to feel loved and supported by my romantic partner. I want to feel like I have a community of people around me that lift me up and, provide me with with connection, whatever the case might be. Focus on what it is you want to feel, and then start putting that intention out into the universe, and then the opportunities will start to come. You don't have to know exactly what you want things to look like. You just have to know what you're looking for. And once you can do that, you start saying, no, this isn't what it is that I'm looking for, because this doesn't make me feel how I'm looking to feel. And then you stop settling for things that you think you might want, because you know that it's not what you want, since it doesn't make you feel the way that you desire. Immediate future for Virgo. And to me, this is saying, like, if you start taking action towards what it is you desire, like, the wheel is almost guaranteed to spin in your favor here. Immediate future for Virgo. The only way to bring about the opportunities you're looking for, it's interesting that it's showing up as the Ace of Cups, though, because I feel like it's this Ace of Pentacles. I kind of want clarity on this Ace of Cups. I feel like it's the same thing. Oh, no, I know what this is saying, because this is like the material manifestation of it. Okay, because you create it in your mind first. You create it within you first. As above, so below, as within, so without. Your faith and your knowing that you are deserving, knowing that you are good enough for it, whatever it is, that's what creates what it is that you're looking for. You don't create it by it magically appearing in your life, or by crossing your fingers and going, oh, please, 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 please. That's not how you create the life that you deserve and desire. You create it by, first of all, knowing what it is that you want. Second of all, being unapologetic about what it is that you want, because you know you are deserving of it and capable of it, and that it's meant for you. And then third of all, settling for nothing less than that. And when you can do those things, you will start to create it in the material sense, but you have to create it up here first. You have to know in your soul that it's going to happen, so much so that you stop worrying about it happening. That's when you know you're manifesting. Whenever you are no longer worried about whether or not it's going to come, and you're already grateful for it before it exists, that is when you know that you are creating the life that you desire. And it's not an easy thing to do, because that's when you have kind of mastered that faith in yourself and in the universe, and in knowing that you are supported on your path to what it is that you desire. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Immediate future for Virgo, please. Okay. So there you are. Queen of Pentacles, whether you're male or female. Queen of Swords in reverse. Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay. And this kind of goes with what I was currently saying. You have to be willing to release your expectations of how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, what it's going to look like. You just have to be willing to know that things are working out for you, even if you don't know how, and that it's going to be what it is that you truly desire, even if it doesn't look like what you think. There's a part of you that actually has your heart closed off to things actually turning in your favor, because you think that things need to go a certain way, meaning that they need to happen by a certain time, or that the path has to unfold a certain way, or that certain things need to happen on a certain timeline. And the more that you close your mind to the possibility of how things can unfold, the more you keep yourself from them unfolding for you. So that is why this is about, opening up your mind and your heart to the process of how things are going to unfold, having that kind of just inner knowing that things are working out for you, and releasing the rest. Believing that you're supported, taking action in the ways that you can control, and giving it over to the universe. Creating the life that you desire is a tricky balance between taking divinely guided action and giving over the rest to the universe. Doing what you can control, focusing on what you can control, and then knowing that the universe has your back when it comes to the rest. So taking action toward what it is that you desire, which again might be away from what you don't desire, away from what doesn't serve you or doesn't fulfill you, and believing that you are supported on the path towards what does. That's what I feel like, if you could sum up the reading, that's what this is about. All right, Virgo, we're going to hop on over to the extended. I'm going to dive deeper into this messages, kind of focusing more on the coaching aspect of this. looking at what you need to do right now in order to move forward in alignment with your higher self. Thank you so much, Virgo, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Virgo, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Virgo.